Hello guys, and welcome to today's banter. My name is Grace Komolafe. Oh, so sorry. It's me, Zamaka. She's not here today, so it's a privilege sitting on her seat with these four hefty men. Oh, let me warn you guys. Today should be a calm day for all of us. No noise, no dragging. We're bantering, but we are not fighting each other. We're airing our opinion. If not, I swear everybody here and send you out. I have the authority today. So you're welcome, guys. You're welcome to today's banter. My name is Amaka, as I've told you earlier, and this gentleman will be introducing himself. I'm starting from my right. I'll be starting with this man.
You know, it gives me such an incalculable pleasure to be on the show. It's your boy Juvie. You know how it is. I keep it locked down 100%. Locked down. It's your boy Juvie. Expect the best from me today.
What motivates you to do this every time?
You know how it is. I'm iconoclastic. I'm electric phenomenal.
Okay, that's very hard to swallow. Please, next, please introduce yourself.
Yo, my fams, what's up? It's your homeboy, Didi the light of the world. Any light is a light.
Any light?
You don't need to understand. Go on. You don't need to understand.
No, I'm in charge now. I have the right to understand. If I don't understand, this show will not go on. So I need to understand which one is the light again.
The light of the world. Any light is a light.
Okay.
It's for highly intellectual people.
Wow, that hits. Wow. Okay, please introduce yourself.
Good day. My name is Charles, and it's a pleasure to be here.
And the guy on the mouse.
Yeah, that's true. I'm Victor. Nice to be here again, and yeah, let's keep this thing rolling.
So you're welcome, guys. Let's kick the ball rolling. So we'll be treating very crucial topics today. But first, I'm going to start with this. Federal government allocate 3.37 trillion naira for palliative loans to 8 citizens. Okay, first of all, I'm just going to shed some light into this. We have sat on this table to discuss how federal government has been allocating this loan, and then now it is them allocating 3.37 trillion for palliative loan to 8 citizens. Now, where I got this information from, they said, in a response to the economic challenge following the removal of fuel subsidy and the subsequent spike in price, the federal government of Nigeria has unveiled an extensive plan totaling 3.27 trillion naira. This comprehensive initiative announced by the President Bola Tinubu aims to cushion the impact of Nigerians and business. Now, one of the package include a diverse range of measures, such as allocating 100 billion naira to procure 3,000 CNG fuel buses, 200 billion naira to boost agricultural production, and 75 billion naira to support manufacturers. Additionally, 125 billion is earmarked for micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, with an extra 185 billion allocated to assist states. Now, I'll be starting with Juvie. This palliative now, this loan, do you think the federal government allocation of this 3.27 trillion naira for economic relief is a genuine effort or a political maneuver?
Well, I think a government official will be in the best position to say if it's genuine or political maneuver. However, it's laudable. It's laudable for the government to think of cushioning the effect after the subsidy removal and all that, and inflation right now in Nigeria is sorry to stop.
Don't think we have had cases of loan like this being allocated because
we
of paternity fuel subsidy.
Palliatives then and loans.
Okay.
Yeah, because loans will go to the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises and informal sector. We don't know their names. We wish their names to this thing, how much is going into, how much, when do you expect to get back whatever loan. If it's interest-free, let's know. If you're getting interest, how much, when do we get it back? What are the measures put in place? There was a loan that was set to start for students at September. nothing has been heard concerning the loans, student loans, indigenous students across varsities. Nothing has been heard concerning that. I don't know if anybody has heard any update from the federal government as touching the loans government intended. So the whole thing is still shrouded in a whole lot of complexity. We will wait for time to unveil, but we will be watching with eagle's eye to see if the government really means what he's saying, because we've had so much money being allocated, and recently the government still went to get some, borrowed some money.
So coming to you, the lights. Every light is a light, right? Now, the root cause of this is fuel subsidy. Now, do you think government should address fuel subsidy instead of borrowing or granting loan or allocating loan for all this and this thing?
Well, number one, the root cause is not just only for subsidies. Subsidy in general that was removed from major enterprises in the state. I see it as a strategic move by the government. So they called it loan, right? So that means it has to be paid back. Because if they're just putting it there as palliative, that means the money is gone and there's no way of returning.
Palliative and there is loan to it. Loan, palliatives and loans.
Like, what I'm saying is that it was a strategic move by them to name it that, because at least they will still get the money back. Because if they are just giving the money out again, it's going to be another form of subsidy. It may not be subsidy directly, but indirectly it is subsidy. Why? Because it's government that is still bringing money out from their purse to fund some things. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about. Okay. So what I'm saying is, it's a nice move, but what we should be asking ourselves is, what's the measure, or because this is not today Nigeria government have started to distribute money out. What's the measure in making sure that people who are able or who have the capacity to be able to return this money back will be able to do so? Because there are many loan schemes, for instance, the N-Power and the rest, I don't want to mention too much names, that there are many loan schemes that have been created and has gone down because people have not been able to pay back those loans. I don't know if you understand.
What you're saying is that if government can pay back this loan,
if
that's
the
nice.
people that they are going to give this money to will be able to return that money after a certain period
I'll
of time.
come back to you to explain this. Coming to you, Charles, now, do you think this 3.27 trillion naira is an effective solution? Do you think it's going to solve all this problem?
Well, it should, because I think any plan that the federal government has mapped out, whatever plan, they have a way that they will use or to make sure that this money actually does what it is released for. And the only problem I see here now is, do the people who really need it, how do they get to those people? Do they really give the money to those people that really need it? So do they give these loans and this palliative to the core people that need it, or some certain sector of people will divert these funds and use it for their own personal gain? So that is the thing. One competency from the government.
The question should not be about who needs it, but who should be able to pay back.
That's also true.
There's something striking here. When you say payback, what do you actually mean?
It's a loan, right?
Yes.
So obviously they are going to pay back.
Okay.
I don't know if you get me. So if they are going to be releasing this money, so you are going to be looking at what's Nigeria has.
But in the first place, why would government be giving a loan?
It will caution people that cannot stand in their small business, or at least they'll have access to money.
So Victor, before you answer that, let me throw this to you. So do you think government is using this economic relief package to divert attention from other pressing issues? Do you think it's just a scheme to divert attention?
When you say other pressing issues, like what issues do we have?
Economic problem. There are so many things happening in Nigeria now. Do you think they're just using it to just cover up?
No. I mean, I don't think they're covering up anything. If not anything, they are trying to help the masses. I believe, but I feel that is not even the issue. The issue is the sharing formula, rather. We've been concentrating a lot on loans, but we've not talked about even the palliatives, because that is what the government is used to giving out. Now, I remember a video I saw over the weekend, right? This local government chairman or somebody from the head of an estate, you understand? Yeah. And what got to him was not even up to 25 kg, bag of rice for the whole estate. An estate whereby you have almost 200 households, not 200 individuals, 200 households. So, is that like we don't place premium on the sharing formula, because when something comes from the federal government, it has to go to the state level, it has to go to the local government level, and of course the various constituencies and all of those things. So at each of those levels, sometimes things happen. Sometimes it is misappropriated, if I should put it that way. And you also see sometimes most of these palliatives, they end up being sold. They're not meant to be sold. Some of these people, they just hoard it, and then they want to make profit from it. So I feel it's just the mentality, first of all. I don't think we know how to handle palliatives, and sometimes you see them being hoarded in the warehouses for later commercialization.
Okay.
And so the whole system from the government, before it can reach the people, the citizens, it needs to be fixed.
Okay.
And so until that is fixed, all we'll be saying is story, 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 but nothing will really happen.
I like where you're landing. So I'll be giving you guys your 30 seconds to just speak to the government on this. Like, what do you advise the government? Juvi, let me start with you.
Well, the government is wise. The government has every intel at its beck and call. Let's address the issue. Let's stop I think it was after the Second World War, FDR, Roosevelt, there was the New Deal. Implementation has been our problem, not white paper, plenty talks. You're giving 100 billion to acquire 3,000 units of 20-seater compressed natural gas buses. How long are we thinking of maintenance? How do we get these monies back? It's not just 1 trillion on student loans and other 1 trillion naira on student loans. Who are the students? These are the issues we should be speaking to. Government come out with, people are sick and tired of hearing all these stories. The implementation, people just feel, well, government has said it. We don't know who is going to get it. Maybe party members will get it eventually. If the government will stop all this, get digitalized, the data. We have our data. Get it to the people that need this money. We don't have to be telling stories.
Okay, like as to speak on the people paying back the loan, these are 30 seconds. Can you just link it and generalize it?
He mentioned things like people not being able to be held responsible. He's talked about implementation, and everything still boils down to people. Everything we've all pointed out still boils down to people. We're not having people who are considerate. When I mean that now, they've collected these loans. What's in their head now is how to make their own profits. And they are not thinking of how to repay the money they've collected. So everything still comes down to the process and not the whole talks around it. It still comes down to what measures have been put in place to be able to ensure that people are able to get this. And also very important that people do not pay their way to get this money. And it's only in this country you see people pay money to get money. I don't know if you understand me. So people, government should also put processes in place whereby there will be no shortcuts. Because once there's a shortcut, then you find out that the money will be missing at the end of the day.
So, Charles, as you hear your opinion, so how do you think this allocating of this fund also favors certain sectors?
I mean, when you say certain sectors like what?
Like, there are different sectors in Nigeria. They are going to be allocating this. They mentioned small and micro business enterprises. They mentioned students. You get. How do you think it doesn't favor one sector over the other, as you give your opinion?
It depends. It depends on which sector they try to favor. I mean, if they are out to do their due diligence to the masses, then they will make sure that it is equal and everybody gets a fair share of the money that has been allocated for the loans and for the palliative. So if the government wants to do their job, they should do a thorough job. They should do everything in their power to make sure that those that who really need it and those that can pay back, just like others have submitted, that those that can pay back these funds get it, so that there is no mago, there is no cheating. So let everybody have a fair share of this.
Thank you.
So another angle to this, that some people may say that this is the government trying to invest. I'm speaking on loans now, because when they give out this loan, they are expecting something back. I mean, they're expecting interest, right? And so there's no, I mean, it's not.
I don't think government.
Interest will only come when you
Yeah.
pay.
Yeah, that's it. I
Sorry,
don't think
Really?
let's just
there was
allow
no
him
mention.
just,
Is that-
let's just
is that-
allow
is
him
that
give his
so?
30 seconds.
Just to clear, there's no mention of interest payment. Like we are paying back.
But
It's
do
just-
you feel that
It's
we
a
no interest?
palliative. I mean, if you are giving me palliative, it should be I pay back what I give, what I was giving. It's not pay with interest. I mean, you're trying to help me.
Okay.
I did not walk to your doors and say, give me this thing. Then you'll be able to say, okay.
But they did not tell you to come and collect it too.
Yeah.
So and another thing is I want to even know where they got that money from, because we are fond of borrowing. Of recent, the federal government borrowed right from the World Bank,
So
from the International Monetary Fund. I mean, so
I don't think that question is something that we need to discuss on
I'm
this
not saying we
table.
should
That
discuss it. I'm just,
that
I'm
question
just
is for
thinking
another
openly.
day.
Yeah.
So,
So
your 30 seconds has elapsed. So sorry, I had to bring it out like this. So guys, you've heard it. They said government is for the people, by the people, and for the people. So government, if you are doing things, do it right. It could cushion the effect of fuel subsidy, but what's next? We have to have plan B. So that wraps it for this segment. When we come back from this break, we continue with the other segment. So guys, over the weekend there was this video that was trending. This CSC Chief Executive and Registrar General Garba Abubakar. I think President Tinubu replaced him with someone else, and we saw the employees carrying carbon, celebrating, jubilating. Like, that was absurd to me. I've never seen such before in my life. How will employees come out and be celebrating the sack of their employers? So I don't know. Now, let me read something out for you guys. In a surprising turn of events, employees of the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, recently celebrated the dismissal of their Chief Executive and Registrar General Garba Abubakar, branding him as a vicious tyrant. That's it. The jubilant staff, members of the Amalgamated Union of Public Corporations, Civil Service, Technical and Recreational Service Employee, expressed their gratitude to President Bola Tinubu for the appointing of a new Registrar General, Hazani Sani. Please, guys, why so? Like, what do you have to say about this? I don't even know what to say. Like, how would they brand someone a vicious tyrant?
The city rejoices when the wicked perish. There are shouts of joy, shouts of joy. He's not the first, and he won't be the last. 1998, someone passed, head of state, and the whole country was agog with jubilation from the north down to the south, east, and west. The same month, I think it was the same month, thereabout, someone else passed, and it was chaos. And so he's not the first. There was a particular case of a lady, a nursing organization whose their matron or thereabout was retiring, and it was the caption was like, "Thank God," it like good riddance to the end of it, and it's a funny and a sorry state of affairs, how that we get an opportunity. We're supposed to serve the people, but we take powers and we misappropriate what is meant for. You're supposed to serve the people, but when you get into a place of position, you begin to maltreat your people. You become a despot. You become draconian in your approach. And finally, these people, when they follow, say, "Oh, our Oga too wicked." When they become Oga, it is trouble. And it's not just this person. It's not Garba Abdullahi. It could be me. It could be Victor. People change.
Yeah. So coming to you, Charles, do you think this kind of celebration being celebrated in the public is appropriate? Should it be encouraged or discouraged?
Well, it should be discouraged, because I don't know why you would come out to celebrate the sack of another person. Because one day you could be in that same position. And how would you feel if
But it
people
tagged
accept.
him a vicious tyrant.
That was his own. That was his own way of leading. That's his own way,
You're right,
or the
too.
way he understands how to govern and rule people. I mean, we were not opportune to witness the rule of some military leaders when they did. But if things were working, then it is a welcome development. If by being a tyrant they do their job and they get results, if everybody is being productive, so what's the problem there? The only problem I can take out there is that they feel like they are not having the freedom to express themselves, or freedom to do as they like, freedom to maybe miss work, which is obtainable in most government parastatal. You see people that don't come to work, but at the end of the month they get their salaries. So if he being a tyrant make them do their job and make them productive and things go well, then why not? But them choosing to celebrate, no, it's a defamation in his name.
So, Delight, I'm coming to you now. Now, there are cases where in an organization, let's say majority of them are being led by just one person's decision. You get? Let's say, for instance, now, I'm the boss of of my organization, and Juvie is my employee. You get? And you are my employee. And maybe because I'm maltreating Juvie, and Juvie comes to poison your mind. You understand? Do you think this happiness, this jubilation expressed by these employees are authentic? Do you think it was not projected by someone?
Well, I was reading a book, and he said there are three things, or there are two things that expose who a man is: money and power. And once you are able to discipline yourself from those two things, your integrity will be kept.
Woman.
And sorry, woman. I knew that there were three.
No,
No, there were three, but I could not remember that last one. That's why I just brought it down to two. Well, the truth of the matter is, you can never tell what has happened in that organization. Mind you, we are in a country whereby once things cannot be bent to your will, we tag it to be wickedness. You understand? So if they were in his shoes, because there are, it's a company, there are people employed for different positions. There are people who are employed to think. There are people who are employed to make decisions. There are people who are employed to even carry out what the thought has been carried, or what has been produced. And you can't do away with that, because if they were in his positions, the decisions he may have made, they will be also likely to. It's easy for you to say something and not be in the shoes. I don't know if you understand me. When most of us now say, oh, if we get to Aso Rock, we will do better than what they are doing, but you don't know what is there. So you get. So the point of the matter is, well, they may have come out to celebrate in that manner. Well, I'm not a fan of that kind of thing. No matter how wicked he was, I'm a Christian. What did God say? Vengeance is mine. He will take care of it. And if you may laugh about it, but one thing I've noticed about myself is,
I won't be able to get it. So kind of, because
one thing I've noticed is that about myself is that you can't do something wrong and go scot-free. I don't know if you get me. To me, karma is real. So he may have done something bad, and he's just getting his own portion of what he has done.
Okay, I want to give Juby the pleasure of attacking you later, so let me get to Victor. Victor, now, there was something Charles said. He said, what if that was his own better way of leadership? You understand, you get. So, do you think in this organization, and this organization, that CSC, do you think the sack of this chief executive will bring about productivity in the organization, or will there be unfair practices?
CSC sounds like Christ Apostolic Church.
All right.
But, well, I must say,
Corporate Affairs Commission.
I know. Just kidding. Well, I'm not working in the organization, so I don't know what their output was. And they say it's when you're really inside, you really know what is actually happening. But then this celebrating, I can't rebuke them, neither can I congratulate them for doing that. But all I would say is that when you enter into a system, there are some existing rules you meet here. as far as you're not the founder, right? He was appointed there,
Okay.
and so he went there and met some certain rules and laid down guidelines, right? So, I mean,
That
there's
wasn't favorable to most of them there.
no, that they were used to. You
Okay.
understand? Because like in the FRC and Federal Radio Corporation Nigeria, the DG is politically appointed. So meaning, most likely he's not working in that organization. You understand? So the government brings somebody that will push their agenda in that institution. It is very common in government institutions, right? So most likely, I don't know how this one rise to the rank of chairman or whatever.
And they say he has been serving for 3 years.
As
And
a
some
chairman,
months, yes, chief executive. Yes.
as chief like that.
Yes.
So all of a sudden, have they been complaining all this while?
We don't have that details.
He was sacked too.
Yeah, he was sacked.
He didn't retire.
He was
So,
removed
so
by
what
the president.
led to the sack?
It could be that.
Those are the
Cool,
questions
you know, it
that
could
comes to mind.
Yes.
People would definitely, it's leadership style that is the problem here. Not because someone is strict. It's not entirely because he's strict, because you'll find some strict people, when you're done with them, you come back and say, thanks, boss, I really didn't understand why you were going this way. Do you understand what I'm saying? He already had flaunted some basic rules that led to him being removed before his time.
Okay.
It's very plain. So nobody is, and if people could come out and jubilate openly, let's not be
In
quick.
numbers.
Let's not be quick to say
So,
they are
I
doing
mean-
something wrong.
I mean, so what I'm just saying is that sometimes when you move into an already established, somewhere that is already established, you're not the first person coming there to lead. You're not the first whatever. And I'm speaking from experience now. Initially, people are not going to just follow you sheepishly. I don't know if you get what I mean. They may test you, and if you're not going to conform to what they're going to do or whatever, I don't know how to put it. Now my dad, where he is, right? I'm not going to tell you position, but where he is, after getting there, the person that was there before him was there for 20 years. You understand? And so when he started bringing in new policies, you understand? People were not happy with it. They were like, why will you do this? Why we're doing this thing like this for the past 20 years. You understand? So why change things? You know, people don't like, well, at least some people don't like change. You understand? So I agree with him. The leadership style may just be the problem, or it could just be that he's a really bad guy. So
I don't know if you've forgotten what you wanted to say initially when you laughed.
No, it was still the fact that it's, for me, I think it's leadership style. It's his personnel beyond. He's not the first person there. So why didn't we hear of that news that the other guy that left, or the previous people that left, he was sacked, and people came out to jubilate, telling you something is wrong about his style of leadership, and the people are here, they are tired of it.
So now, Charles, let me come to you as we round up, giving you 30 seconds. Don't you think this was an extreme measure by the president to sack him? Like the whole humiliation and everything surrounding it.
We only got to hear about the sack, that's my own opinion, or from my own end, because of the jubilation, because of the public jubilation actually. So if any other person was sacked, or if any other person was sacked actually, I don't think we would have known. Or if the sack had happened, we wouldn't have known, except if not for the way they jubilate or the way they reacted to it. So the jubilation, it was the issue that brought about the topic here. So
I wish we could even maybe bring somebody and maybe we tell us something, you know.
So, Delight, coming to you, I feel now that, they say social media is like something else, it's going crazy now. Don't you think this is, this like smells trouble for most organizations based on leadership and this thing?
They will checkmate themselves if they don't want to go through the same experience.
Especially in the government and this thing, parastatals.
That's what I'm saying. You've seen what happened to person A, and you're still in the same position as person A. So what's there for you is just to checkmate yourself. But we should not just be too lenient with all these kind of issues. We should treat them as, we can't be treating others like a slave because we are exposed to power. mind you, tomorrow you can leave that place and what happens? Another person occupies the seat. So you should do unto others what you want them to do to you if you were in that kind of situation.
Okay. So, Jovi, rounding up, so let me ask you this. Now, coming back to what Charles said, he said that could be his best style of leadership. What if that was the best way to get a good result in the organization? What do you advise?
We can't tell that CSC had any good results. There are no data to show for that. How effective have they been? Because how effective have they been during, to extray his tenure? We don't have facts, so we might not speak so much about that. But there is a dearth of leadership across board in this nation, not just with the CAC. If you went through other government parts, you will find the same thing. People do things and we don't care about...
The rate of companies scamming people is very high. And who gave them the, what do you call it, the certificate of...
CAC can't go about and tell
so
you
that's what
not
I'm
to...
saying. They are, you see, you have companies that have, in the past, I don't want to mention names here, that have showed that they even have an office. They even show proof of their, what they call this certificate they give to them again. They have it, and they, at the end of the day, they still scam people. And they desire, because I'm talking from experience, I was scammed.
I think that would have been the duty of the anti-graft this thing now.
And what I'm saying
CSE gives you the permit or
permit,
the seal and all that.
That's what I'm saying. If they were very effective, how did this... You know, there are some ways you present your documents to them and say, okay, this is the plan of, or this is the objective and aim of a particular organization. So you go through it. If thorough investigation was done concerning that, permits like that should not be released to companies of such. I don't know if you understand.
Tell the intent of people until they start, But I think the anti-graft agencies could as well step in, and we're just having problems across board. It's a good one for him. Congratulations to him.
So as we wrap up this segment, Victor, now, are staff's sentiment crucial indicator of organizational health, or should decision be made independently of popular opinion?
Well, that's a tricky one. I believe so much in participatory government. Do you understand? When I say participatory, I'm not just speaking at the federal level, even at workplaces, even at institutions. Do you understand? In school, I headed my sports team. Do you understand? I learned something that, when in leadership, if you don't carry the various people along, you will be captaining a ship whereby everybody is swimming at various directions, and by the time you reach your destination, you see that you're the only one there. You understand? So, you understand? So, but then there are some times that you need to be stern. You need to stand with a decision. Do you understand? Because sometimes the fact that an opinion is not popular does not mean it is what is right. Do you understand? But I feel generally, and most of the time, it's good to carry people along.
So I'll be sitting on the fence. I'm not against the fact that they were jubilating over, according to how they tagged him, a vicious tyrant. But nevertheless, that doesn't give them the right not to adhere to the organizational rules and regulation. Carry out your work diligently. And to any other director coming in, this is the time, according to what they say everybody is one. You get? Nobody's above anybody, no matter the position you're holding. We are all human beings. They said the rain will fall on everybody and the sun will shine on everybody. So treat each other as one. It depends. There's what we call communication. How you communicate with your employee matters a lot. Most of the times, it's communication that brings about productivity. If you don't communicate with them very well, my dear, they won't be productive. So try communicating better with them and try being in cordial relationship with them. So that's a wrap on this segment as we go into the next segment of today. So as we're trying to wrap up today's program on the last topic. An Akwa Ibom woman faces public flogging for alleged plantain theft amid food scarcity debates. Crazy things are happening. There's hunger in the land, you guys.
Does hunger really make someone so?
Don't say. Sometimes I was telling someone something someday. I was so hungry. I went somewhere that I was thinking of stealing some of these plantain chips because I didn't have cash on me then. I was a little bit dry in the pocket.
I've been hungry, but
Be surprised what you do
When you're hungry, it's
And
crazy.
you have
The
no-
mind is
it
the mind
depends,
messes with you
because
a lot.
I've been hungry, and the first thought that came to my head was not stealing. The first thought was begging.
Okay, before we start bantering, let me get into the discussion. A woman named Udo Ekbo faced public humiliation in Okon Eket village, Akwa Ibom State, when she was caught stealing 3 bunches of plantain on Monday morning. She was apprehended red-handed while attempting to steal the stolen plantain at a popular ura in the market later that day, hailing from Ikot. This suspect was handed over to the police, but before that, the youth there had to flog her, had to humiliate her in the streets before they handed her over to the public. Now we are hearing cases of jungle justice. I'm going to relate it to what happened in Abuja, where they flogged the woman they flogged her almost to death because there was rumor that she took someone's genital, which turned out to be a lie. And
Someone's what?
genital,
Oh,
a man's genital.
what is
Acco-
genital?
According to this,
Genitalia,
Oh,
the organ.
okay.
I nearly said what I didn't want to say here now because of you.
Copulatory organ.
So according to, though we are not looking at that story, this is the story we look, but I'm trying to relate it to this. So according to the story, the woman begged him for money, and which he gave to her. And then after some minutes, they're feeling a certain way, and then he drew the attention of people around, saying that that stuff was missing. You get? And now they had to flog, they had to beat the woman. It was when the police came to the scene that they saved that woman, and they beat her nonsense.
And so nobody tried to confirm.
You get? It was when they took him to the police station, they were interrogating him open, and they were like, he did there, but he no did there. Say he did there. So why did you say it was missing?
Why did you subject someone to like?
But this one, they caught her red-handed when she was trying to steal the plantain, 3 bunches of plantain. And they said it is because of hunger, food scarcity. Please, this matter is a very, 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 very crucial matter, because right now there's hunger in the land. I will not lie to you. There's hunger in the land. There's hunger in the land.
Yes, hunger in the land should not make
Do you
someone
know who
to
she
commit
have tried
crime.
to beg? Do you know who she have tried to?
Has she begged the whole world?
Oh, calm down.
How do you expect to beg
people
your
around
own?
Hello.
The people around her, she must have tried to meet and
Hello.
Why you think of stealing, right?
If-
Because you know what comes,
If begging
after
does
stealing.
not work,
Okay, what
you
she
won't
did?
see people begging. If begging,
She wanted to
See,
sell the
out
plantain,
of-
though.
out
How
of-
many people
out
how
of-
many people that beg on the road have you given money?
out
today?
of, I give people money
How many people that beg on the road
I
have you
give
given money?
people
I'm not
money.
asking today.
today. How many of them have I seen today? So what I'm saying is
You'll be
this.
surprised. At the people
What
that-
I'm saying is this. There's downstairs in front of our office. There's this guy that is always there.
How many times have you given?
Yes, I've not given him money before.
I'm
But
saying.
it doesn't mean that every time, in fact, I've passed there when a lady gave him money. The funniest part is that he's mad. Am I lying?
No, it's
now.
not like he's mad. Let's get it right.
Okay,
He's
what
not
is-
really mad. He's
so
a
what
bit.
is-
There's a shift.
Okay, there's a shift. Let me use that word. There's a shift in his brain. So what I'm saying is this. For someone who there's even a shift in his brain to be able to beg and to get money, what about someone there's no shift in his brain and is begging? Why would the person know? Also, there's another, there are plenty of beggars around here. There's another guy front there.
Wait, are we naming beggars here?
No, I'm trying to let you know that begging actually works. If you beg, you get money.
You know, there's
Now,
something I want to say.
out of 100 people, at least 3 people will give you.
How sure are you?
And so the question you should be asking yourself
What about the
is,
humiliation
for
that
how
comes?
long will you continue to
What
be
about the
hungry
humiliation
you
that
cannot
comes
feed
after
yourself?
begging?
Now the question is, what stops you from working if you are very hungry?
You can't tell the situation at that period of
Okay.
time.
I think it's not really a one way. You can't really say this was what really led to this situation, and it would be running into conclusion to say it was just hunger, or she was being lazy.
That's what she said
Or
when they were beating her.
or she was,
That's what she said when they were beating her. She said it was hunger.
or she was lazy. We don't want to get to a point. I mean, if you've seen people in Sudan and all that, people really go through stuff. And because I'm not in that shoe right now, or we are not in that shoe, doesn't mean these things are not for real. If a woman has got 3 kids' mouth to feed, and she's pushed to that point, you never can tell what you can do.
Next.
Do you understand what I'm saying? However, if the community would, I mean, if the system was better, I think food, I mean, scripturally, food shouldn't make you beat someone, because if you stole, then you make the person pay back. At least for a start, if it was food, then let's feed the person. Is it actually food that is your problem? Or you need a job or something doing to keep you off this line? Because if you say begging, man, it takes away your dignity as a human being. I can't go out. See, I pray not to get to that point where I'll stand at the bus stop and say, please, I am stranded. I mean, it strips you naked to ask someone else. Like you, and people in Lagos, we've heard so much, like, for real, what's up?
Your hand
man?
is okay, your leg is okay. Why are you
so
begging?
those
a lady dressed beautiful. She even added red lipstick, put wig, and asked me for money to show you how bad it is. But
some do this stuff as it's a trade for them. We call them fine barra. They trade. It's
every day.
Victor, what do you have to say? What do you have to say about this?
What do I have to say? Well, I'm lost, I must say so, but people are going through a lot. People are really going through a lot. I'm just going to voice what everybody has said here. You can never tell what that person has gone through. So I'll push this to
The light.
Imole. Okay. So I don't know, how hungry have you been before? Do you know that there are types of hunger? And there's a type of hunger that will push you to do crazy things.
Yeah.
And so I won't be in the position to judge her, but I'll speak from the angle of jungle justice. Jungle justice, because we're talking of flogging.
You were pushing something to me. I'm waiting for you to push it, finish it.
He didn't finish halfway. He doesn't want.
Like
he doesn't want
he
it
thought
to
about
bounce
what I
back.
wanted to push, because I already had a reply.
It was talking
Let me be done.
How
hungry
have you been?
That will make me to go and steal. Bro, let me just, I know you will not complete it, but let me answer you. There are decisions you make that push you to do some things. Now the question is, what decisions has she made that made her to be that hungry at that moment? There are people who are very, do you know what it means for you to wake up in the morning by 4, go to work, come back when everywhere is dark, and at the end of the month you get peanuts? Do you know how so people are trying to run away from that kind of lifestyle? I don't know if you understand me. So the truth of the matter is, when you are trying to run away from that lifestyle, you should have something better that will keep you up and standing. And what you should have should not be illegal.
I think, like Victor was saying, it's actually the jungle justice that comes to it. If the people had met 3 bunches of banana or plantain, how much is it worth? Do you understand? Trying to. So, and we went ahead to cast the stone. Right now, has it changed anything? Has our state actually changed? No. The other day,
they made it worse.
Do you understand?
Public
It could
humiliation.
have been worse.
I mean, finding what were you? Is it hunger? Let's give you this.
I mean,
There are people there that could.
sympathy
Do you understand? There are people there that could afford to give some bunches of plantain.
Yeah.
And if it was hunger, then someone could say, okay, if it's job you need or work, then we could provide something for you. People should look beyond going out like those 4 boys that were immolated in Port Harcourt or thereabout. We just wake up where you
Yes,
burn
set them
people to. I
ablaze.
mean, it's uncalled for, and we should stop it.
I feel it goes to show where we are at now, because gone are the days where people look at everyone as their child, where we took care of ourselves collectively as a society. You understand? Now everybody is just looking for their own. And in fact, those even some people get to place of position. They are thinking of stomach infrastructure.
Why would you want to protect only your cheeks and
What
then
he
leave?
said, the point he made was that, you know, before, back then, if a child of family C should commit an offense, the father or mother of family B should be able to correct that child. Now, how many people can you still do that today? Even you yourself, if you go and correct someone's child, the mother can come to you. And I was watching a video of a teacher who the daughter wore, although what she did was bad, who the daughter wore a wig to school, and it's not part of, you know, school days now. They'll tell you shukwa and base, so and this, and they were correcting, and the mother came and started to beat up the teacher and said that, why will you touch my daughter's hair? And that's the so assuming people were still like that back then, and they saw, oh, this person had stolen, at least they would have corrected, and it won't, whatever the punishment will be, it won't lead to that public jungle justice.
So, okay, as we wrap up, I will start with you, Juvi. Now, this is your 30 seconds. Should society focus on addressing the root cause of theft, such as poverty and lack of opportunity, instead of resorting to public humiliation and punishment?
For some people, it's follow come. It's their village people. They are village people that are sitting on their head. If you give them the whole world, they will still steal the candy in someone else's hand.
There's a name they call it.
All right.
That they are
No, not even klepto. This one is village people that are sitting on their head, and would make that if you had the whole world and you saw a candy with a child, you still want to steal that candy. And you know, finally, the law is like a cobweb with the rich. Because if a man embezzles 200 and something billion naira, and nobody is doing any jangle, anything, and there is plea bargain, big English for bringing, just give us something out of whatever you had stolen. But someone goes and he steals maybe 500 naira, and you incarcerate that person, you send the person to prison for 10 years for a phone. There's something wrong with our conscience as a people. So let's deal with that.
Okay, coming to you, Charles, your 30 seconds. Is there a difference in the way society perceives theft committed out of desperation due to poverty compared to theft driven by greed and criminal intent? What kind of punishment should be permitted to this kind of people?
I think the law has its own take on whatever kind of.
But your opinion, what kind of theft what kind of punishment do you think these people deserve?
Someone that stole a bunch of banana compared to
To
someone that
criminal,
stole,
yes.
30 billion.
Should we call them the same
They
thing? No?
can't be the same.
The person that stole the banana and got away with it can still come back tomorrow to steal money.
But
And
no,
obviously
we're not speaking on. We're not speaking on that. We're speaking on
that's
the
what I'm asking you.
magnitude-
What punishment
the
do
magnitude
you
of
offer?
punishment you give.
Yes.
I mean, you if you ask the people that stole 30 billion to pay fine without any form of punishment in long term, that money is nothing to them. So why would somebody that stole maybe Maggie, why would you organize jungle justice against that sort of person? I mean, it's not fair. The society even needs to understand. We celebrate the politician that steal billions, and your fellow hustler in the street that just
Want to
I'm not trying to
feed?
belittle.
I think
I'm not trying to belittle.
punishment should not be based on the item. It should be based on the action.
That's what
Because
I'm
the
saying.
person who
That,
stole.
you know, my first submission was that the law has its way, but she tried to differentiate and say,
okay.
yeah, what of the magnitude? Well, it's different. Like they didn't steal the same thing, so should punishment be different? Punishment should be different, because if you ask anybody on the street, they will tell you. Even when we go out for Vox Pop and all that, you hear people lamenting about what the government is doing. They want to carry out their own revenge through the words they want to speak. Well, I feel like, the punishment should be different.
Okay, so going to you, your 30 seconds, very fast. Now, does the act of public humiliating a person for a crime like theft serve as a deterrent, or does it perpetuate a cycle of violence and revenge?
Now the question is, it has not been happening today. How many people have been able to stop this
So you
act?
think it's like a cycle of
It's
violence, like
no,
it's a
it's
habit or
obviously not
something?
working. It's obviously not working. So we should rethink. You are not dealing with just the action. You are dealing with the inner mind. There was something that propagated the action now. There was something that gingered the person inside her mind to go and there was something that also told her that, oh, she'll be able to get away with it. So you should be, if you are looking for punishment, I see punishment not just as pain, but I see it as something that should be able to correct the action that has been done. That is, when you are about to carry out that same action again, you should be able to stop yourself because you know what is going to wait for you. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is this: people should rethink. Okay, how do I stop this person from committing this crime later on in the future? I don't know.
It's not. It's definitely not by paying fine.
So coming to you, Victor, they asked we end the program with you. Now, I know you don't support jungle justice. Now, is it ethical for individuals or communities to take the law into their own hands and administer punishment, considering the existence of legal system?
Absolutely.
What should they do to these people?
Absolutely not. Now we're advised to hand over those people to the authorities. But now the problem is that people don't even believe in the system. People feel that when you hand over people to the system, they get away, they bribe their way out. Do you understand? And then there are some people too that we paint these people as heroes. Do you understand? They'll paint them as heroes. Say, they are smart now, so they outwit the system. Especially those who do internet fraud and all of those things. So, again, speaking to the big man versus the person on the street stealing, you see, the problem is that money makes things go away. You understand? So somebody steals billions, right? Most of our system and most of our institutions is money, money, money. So by the time you just, send them money and that is the end of it.
So you guys have said it all. I want to say a very big thank you to you guys seated here for sharing your opinions, and the crew, the production crew, we say thank you. And that's a wrap on today's program. Please, why not rush and follow our social media pages from Instagram to Twitter to TikTok. Follow Souk News on the go. And if you want to advertise your business or you want your business to go far, bring it to Wash Media. Here we help you grow your business. I'll see you guys again, same time, same station. Bye for now.